Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and a new movie review. I'll start out by saying Disney needed this. After the disaster that was The Acolyte Episode 3 on Disney Plus this week, they could ill afford another PR nightmare. Inside Out 2 is Pixar's latest offering and, of course, the follow-up to 2015's hugely popular Inside Out. And although it is not projected to do a lot of business at the box office based on ticket pre-sales and other marketing data, I will say this movie went above my expectations compared to what Disney has been releasing in the past couple of years. Now, I'll try to be as spoiler-free as possible in this review, figuring it does not premiere in the United States until tonight. The basic plot is that Riley, our original preteen from the original film, is now 13. She's still playing hockey and has a couple of best friends. Now, these three friends are all invited to a hockey camp to see if they can make the team when they become freshmen in high school, which did make me wonder why the two friends were with Riley, because even though they play hockey too, part of the plot is that these two friends are being sent to a separate high school other than Riley, so they're going to be separated, which is an emotional strike point for our main character. So this didn't make sense to me. But then again, I could just be nitpicking and just move on to another thing. So anyway, the skills camp, Riley's going to play with the high school team as part of a tryout game, a scrimmage game. Now, this includes playing with Val, who's Riley's idol in hockey. She knows all her stats. She knows all her likes, her dislikes. She's a true fangirl of Val, which, being 13 and going through the emotions, can be complicated, and they are portrayed that way throughout the film. Throughout all of this, the original emotions are back. We get joy, anger, sadness, fear, and disgust, and they're just as you remember them. The problems begin when Riley wakes up the morning of the first day of hockey camp, and her emotions are awakened by an alarm that they do not recognize. The alarm simply says, puberty. As Riley navigates this huge change in her biology, Joy and company are joined by some new emotions: anxiety, boredom, embarrassment, and envy. The conflict between the two groups of emotions, the old group and the new group, begin as they try to figure out what is best for Riley at this critical stage in her life. And Riley starts to rapidly experience all of her new emotions in an uncontrollable manner. So I'm going to stop there because I don't want to give away the rest of the plot and what plays out. Like I said, I'm trying to be spoiler free here. Now, as far as how much I enjoyed the film, I enjoyed it very much, and I think I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, because as I watched, it wasn't just the overall story or the few times I laughed that made the film for me. No, it was the vibe the overall movie had going for it. The early Pixar films, what some would call the John Lasseter era, I think are some of the best because they try to communicate and connect an audience with universal emotions and universal themes that all of us at some point in time will go through. This film is accessible on some level for kids, another level for teens, another level for adults, and yeah, even old curmudgeons like myself. So I felt like I was watching a Pixar film that was cleverly hiding a message about moving on, transitioning to another part of life, and holding on to who you are and what you love while that happens. But doing it with clever writing and a basic understanding of human psychology that most of us have as young adults and older adults. Now, the writers got something correct that I think I missed during the movie, or I just did not quite register with me until after the fact. In the first Inside Out, joy is joy. Anger is anger. In this film, there are variations within the emotions. At one point, anger is the voice of reason and calm, and some may say that this was a mistake by the writers, that they weren't paying attention, but I think that they were. As we get older, emotions become more varied and complex, and I think that these subtle changes are representative on screen of Riley getting older and her emotional depth starting to form. So yeah, I think it's a good film. I think it was well written, but it's not a great film, and here's why. There are too many characters vying for too much screen time. For example, Envy could have been taken out of the script and her lines given to anxiety, and you wouldn't have noticed. There is a scene with some memory characters, one being a video game character, another being a kid's cartoon character, and this was screen time that, although I understand the comedy behind it, it could have been eliminated, and that time given to fear, or disgust, or anger, and kept the focus of the story on Riley's emotional development. There were a lot of filler jokes, references to psychology, and references to behavioral responses that, yeah, For the moment, they were cute, but they do not do a whole lot to move the plot forward, and again, it took away from character development time from the main focus of the film. Now, a few things are not explained, like the actions of embarrassment. You're never sure where he stands or what his motivation to do something is at any given time. Anxiety is full tilt, and I think that they over-exaggerate this within Riley, and there could have been a better lesson taught here to the preteens and the teens watching the film, and I think it's a missed opportunity to really make a statement about mental health during a time in the United States when mental health is such a major topic of concern. And finally, the lack of consequences for Riley at the end for some of the things she does during the course of the film could have been better handled. Not having to face yourself and the things you've done to hurt others is, again, I think, another missed opportunity that keeps this film from being great. But I'm really digging for details and being nitpicky because this is a review. It does not take away the fact that this is a wholesome, enjoyable film that is good for all ages. And the last thing I will address is this. A lot of misinformation came out about this film a few months ago, particularly around Riley and her possibly coming out in this film. This does not happen. There is no content like this of any kind in the film, and like I said, it's a wholesome family film. So please, do not believe any of the rumors online. And yeah, I think it's a solid Pixar offering that will have Disney breathing a sigh of relief, as I think it will at least break even at the box office. And that's my review, and that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you plan on seeing Inside Out 2? And which is your favorite Pixar film, and which one do you think deserves a sequel? And if you want more movie review content, click on the thumbnail at the end of this video for my general movie review playlist and my retro movie review playlist. As always, thank you for listening. I'm still your reluctant gringo, and from south of the border, salute, and I'll wave 'em.